Pacific Avenue. This is Pacific. Here is a site visit, and there is a rendering of about the size compared to the building. Now, this is 600 square feet, so it will actually be 450, so it will be smaller than that. And this is the proposed sign, so it's 180 by 360 inches, which these are the dimension, which will be 450 square foot sign. Here is the sign details, how it will be placed and reinforced. These are the engineering. Here is a site visit of the property. I believe that this was probably one of the last signs that I did before my absence for a couple of years. So now this will be at this end right here. And here is a site visit of what surrounds the property. There's some residential, the rail. There's some restaurants and retail too as well. And this is the biscuit bar at the corner of the building. And then this is the backyard restaurant. Staff is recommending approval for this CA. Are there any questions for staff?
Just a couple of questions. It looks like from the pictures that screening, there's already screening. Is this a garage that we're mounting the sign to? That's what it looked like. And so my question is really about mounting that, because I saw the stainless steel grommets and the cabling. But with that screening being in place, how is it going to be mounted so that it's, because, okay, is this vinyl mesh? Some kind of vinyl mesh material that's being mounted to the existing screen?
It is, and we do have the applicant on the line, Mr. Davis, who can explain that further. But yes, they're grommets in a mesh material that's been printed on, and that is an expanded metal facade on that parking garage.
So these would go into the metal facade, not try to anchor to the mesh screening or something. It's not as sturdy and wind resistant.
So it would anchor to the mesh screening around the parking garage, but that's pretty heavy duty screening. Like all the signs that have been there are anchored to that mesh screening. It is heavy duty. It is very supported. Like there's no concerns from a structural standpoint from staff
And
of how that's mounted.
So it's not for the structure.
Yes.
Okay, because unfortunately I grabbed most of the materials, but I evidently bought that on the way out the door this week, so I didn't remember how it was mounted. And that was my main concern, and wind resistance, because where you got that mesh, that's all okay with engineering.
It's built like a super graphic, so it has it is a mesh material, so wind will flow through it. It won't.
Yeah.
It's less resistance.
Oh, that's why I thought when you saw the mesh, I was going, it probably is structured like that. Todd, did you have questions? And then if you had questions.
You actually asked the question I had which was, is this going to be mounted to a parking garage? Because it appears it is. So, yeah, that's my only question.
Yes, that is the parking garage. I believe it's 5 levels, maybe 6.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But that Spaces sign is actually mounted to the same type
Okay,
of sign.
I'm sorry, I can't read that. Because I think you said, Oscar, that it's smaller than what that's indicated, that there's that 800, I can't read.
Yeah, so this will give 600
Mhm.
square feet, but it's actually the proposal, as you can see, is 450.
Okay.
So
And do you have any other questions?
I
Then we
did
can let it
initially when I saw this, I had some concerns that you're going to see it from the interstate, but I did I drove down the interstate, coming south on 75. And you will be able to see it, but I don't think it's
So it's not an
mathematics.
installation of the highway beautification sign?
So in order to violate the Highway Beautification Act, it has to be non-premise advertising. This is premise-based advertising. This restaurant actually exists on this premise.
Okay. Because when it was a garage, I'm going, where's the restaurant? Is it in the high rise next door or is it actually within that first level? Okay. That was my concern.
I believe it's on the back side of the building,
Okay.
the other side of the
I
building.
think it's set back far enough that it's not gonna be imposing
Okay.
driving down the interstate.
And, Mr. Davis, did you wanna? You're on mute, so we can't hear you right now, and we need you to turn your camera on as well, if you will.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, hello.
We can hear you.
We can hear you, but we can't see you yet.
That has a delay. We can see him online.
Oh, you can?
Yes, that screen has a delay.
Okay, thanks, Chase. Okay. What would you like to add?
Like I said, I think everyone's hit the keynotes. This is an engineered sign. It's built like a super graphic. It's a perforated vinyl mesh attached directly to the stainless steel expanded metal curtain on that parking garage. And it is very, very resilient. The actual seams are welded with kind of like a seatbelt material in the weld with grommets every 6 inches. And the attachments are going to be using stainless steel cable ties every 6 inches that has a load rating of 170 pounds per stainless steel zip tie.
One other quick question, because it resembled a super graphic, does it fall under the same classifications then as a super graphic has?
No, it's outside the inner loop. So the super graphics are only inside the inner loop. This is right on the outside. So it just falls under regular business zoning provisions, which allows 25% of the facade to be covered. And that's the entire facade. So they have quite a bit of square footage that's allowed for signs.
A small portion of that. Yeah, that answers all my questions.
Okay, then do we have a motion on this one?
Sure, Mr. Todd, now motion to approve.
Okay, and the chair will second. We'll do a roll call vote since we have some WebEx folks online with us. Commissioner Blair? Oops, you're still muted.
Yeah, I'm voting yes, please.
Okay, and Todd?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So that's our quorum. So it stands approved as stated. And are we ready for the next thing? Thank you, Mr. Davis, for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
And we'll reach out for the next steps.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, gentlemen.
All right, and the next case, we do have Rob Baldwin here, the representative for the applicant for this SPSD case.
So, since, Commissioner Joe was here last time, I'll make the presentation.
And it's also in her CPC district.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it,
It's in this, so that is district, what's?
Was that 8? It's District 8.
Eight, okay, I was trying to think, is that six, eight, that part down? Okay, thank you.
so this is a special, Second District, Advisory Committee, for application, SPSD 234-001. The application is asking to create a new, special provincial site district on a property zone, mixed use, District 2. This request proposes to create a new special provincial sign district in the area commonly known as the Redbird Mall that will allow for uniform signage throughout the mall property and entrances. Here is a proposed Redbird Mall. This is the city of Dallas map, and the star represents where the mall is located at. So it is bounded by East Camp Wisdom, US 67, and South West Morgan. This is the aerial map, and this is the blue highlighted area on the map is what the district will include, that particular property. And this is the zoning map, which encompasses these particular land uses. Here is, the site, views as, stated on the previous hearing. It's kind of, the business will be kind of secluded from view from a public street. Everything, as you can see, the buildings will be inside. This is the view from West Camp, Wisdom Road. And I'm trying to show from the map where I was standing when I was taking the photographs. As you can see, that there's a comparable signs across the street too. This now I am at West Camp Wisdom Road at Westmoreland. This is across the street from the mall. And now I'm standing on that business that I previously showed and give you a view. There's a Chuck E. Cheese. And then I'm going along Westmoreland. So if you see this property right here, there's a proposal to put a grocery store there, which I believe that this particular neighborhood needs that type of benefit. And here is what surrounds the area. As you can see from it, the view from the proposed store is inside the private drives. So it will be hard for the public to see, hence the requirement for the sign. This is across the street, there's a Sherwin-Williams retail store. And I was trying to show that there will be like similar signs. And then here is that proposed site where I believe the grocery store will be constructed. And this is inside too, as you can see, it has that mixed use. It has some apartments. I think that the signs will be fundamental for the development and also the retention of the business. And here is the mall. It shows that it is being remodeled. There's a new business there. And then as I stated, there's the retail, there's some office, there's a economic development agency for employment opportunities. Then there's a UT Southwest Medical Center. I didn't know that it was there. I thought it was just a mall. So I didn't.
It's been there for what, a couple of years now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would not have known because this is kind of like secluded inside. And I'm just moving along, showing what it is around. And this is the hospital, and then this area right here is also being refurbished. And there's new grocery stores, there's like a little plaza that the developer would like to use to have special events. Here is an area, so the signs and the SPSD will contribute to the success too of the retail and proposed grocery. As you can see, it's kind of secluded. This store right here will stay there. And then this is along the expressway, trying to show that everything is kind of secluded. So I'm back on West Camp. That's the across the street from the mall now. So this request, again, is to create a special provision sign district, the Red Bear Mall PSD on a property zone mixed use district 2 that will allow for uniform signage throughout the mall property and enhancements. This property is being developed with a mixed uses and grocery store. The sign is essential to the economic success of the proposed development of the Red Bear Mall. The success of this redevelopment will provide more accessible goods and services to the southwest neighborhood of the city of Dallas. This request proposed to create a new special sign district in the area commonly known as the Redford Mall. And then, staff observed that, most of the new development is within the internal traffic circulation of the development. Most of the new business are not visible from the public, right away. The US Southwest Medical Center and internal, retail business were not visible to city staff during the site visit. And then the businesses were, only visible upon staff entering the private internal vehicular circulation. Therefore, the staff assessment is that the signage will be essential to the economic success of the proposed redevelopment of the Redbird Mall. The proposed special provision sign districts will complement the current zoning and land compatibility. Furthermore, the proposed special provision sign district will promote the area's economy and the safety of the persons and property. Here is the preparation for the, and I apologize for this, it's just mistype, but we're comparing mostly with the West Village SPSD, that it is similar. And then due to that comparison, staff recommends approval for the proposed new special provision sign district. And given those statements.
Okay, one point of confusion, go back one slide. Your header up there says for super graphic sign regulations.
Yeah, it's a misspell, my apologies.
Oh, okay.
You didn't show us the-
Wait a minute, guys.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
And, okay, and I don't see, anybody else on. Rob, if you want to do some presentation and just kind of step us through since Commissioner Blair was not here last time.
Sure. Hi, Commissioner Blair, thank you for your time this morning. So if you recall at our last meeting last month, we went in depth and went through different sign types. At that meeting, we also thought it would make sense to hold this for a month so we could refine the text and make it easier to read and more applicable and make sure everything worked well. I have to thank Oscar and Jason and Mike, who spent an hour and a half with me. We went through every word in the document, refined it, make it reads much better now. It gets us where we want to do, and it matches the graphics that I showed you last month. So the staff did an outstanding job on this, and I hope you can support it. And I think it's Redbird Mall is really a gem, and it's getting better every day. Tom Thumb, I read in the paper, will be starting construction in the fall. And this is needed to make sure that Tom Thumb actually can get a sign on the street so people can see where it is, because it's not fronting right on.
Like a monument portion or something like that.
So I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Well, I had a few, because you know me, I go through things with finance company. And I think you clarified one, and that is that these will not have the pillared billboard type signs, even though it's hard to see the shopping center on the interstate or something. And thank you for that, because if you see, those just kind of create
It's not the setup we're looking for.
no, and it also is detracting from the types of signage you showed us last time with the logo and everything that you want to use to kind of brand the mall area. So thank you for that one. That was one of the questions. And then, I did want to say that although I am a fan of low tones and sedate signage, that you have some already existing painted murals on some of the walls up there, and I think that does add to the vitality. Did you get a chance, Tom, to go out and do a site visit like I did?
I did, I moved around. I'm also familiar with the Redbirds acceptance.
It's amazing what they've done in the last few years.
Yeah.
Work in Parkland, planning down there, and also.
You know, which that's been, what, 2 years, I want to say, that they started, I can't remember how long ago, but I know that that's been a definite draw. And there's some other places that have already come in as a result of UT Southwestern being down there. And I think I saw job services, and I can't remember what all I saw, because it's been like over months since I've been down here. So that's really encouraging.
Yeah,
So I just wanted to say that even though I'm a fan of bright colors, that was very aesthetically pleasing, and I think it adds some vitality. And I think the slide Oscar has up right now, on the left-hand side, Rob, that's where y'all were planning sort of an
Yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this is the lawn where they hold special events. We've been working with the city, and we've got it worked out where there was a problem and we had to get special event permits every time we did it, and it was a pain. So we worked with the city attorney's office, the special events people, and the zoning staff to view, this is a accessory private recreation facility, which will allow us to do events without having to get.
That's
So,
awesome.
it's just, there's a spot for food trucks, people gather here. It's, the beauty is we're not blocking any city streets when we do this, and it just brings a lot of vitality to the area. This has become not just a shopping place, now that we have the apartments and the grocery stores coming, and the lawn and restaurants, it's just become really, community gathering space.
Yeah, the apartments that look like they're virtually brand new, is that part of the property, or that look like it's across the street from?
It's across the ring road, but it's still in the boundaries of the property. It's owned by a separate entity, but it's still.
It's
part of the
consistent
property.
with what
Yeah.
you guys want to do within the property. Okay, and this is.
If I can chime in, I will explain that like the champs, that's all brand new. The,
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
and I actually go there almost daily because there's the Starbucks that I go to is there daily.
Yeah.
And the mall was redeveloped from a old time mall to it's now a medical, it has a medical theme to it. UT Southwestern is there, Parkland is coming. You see that the grocery store, where the grocery store is, will support Palladium Redbird, which is a 300 unit apartment complex that is, I think, about 3 years old. 2 years, yeah, 3 years old. It just opened up in 3 years. It's 100. I think it's about 90% occupied.
Cool.
Yes, yes, yes. This and the signage that is being proposed will detract from the opportunity for gentrification. The mall went away because no one knew it was there. It was not easily accessible. The signage will encourage this billboard will encourage more people to come. With Tom Thumb coming, it's the first grocery store that District 8 has had that is of top quality. So
Claire, when I
anything
go-
to,
Oh,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
I was just gonna ask,
Anything,
I
go ahead.
spent a couple of hours driving around in that whole area. And of course, I don't know if it's in your district or not, but there's that new Joe V's, which I thought was really awesome because it was just, parking lot was full. It was great to see something like that. So this would be a much larger footprint. Was it like 100,000 square foot?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So it'd be a great asset. I did have one question for you because I didn't get a chance to walk around in the existing part of the mall, what used to be the old Sanger Harris. Is that like individual shops inside that would need maybe some kind of directional signage to let people know what's in there or what?
Yes, it's not really a mall per se, like you think of a mall, you go in to purchase things. Um, Dallas Community College is also in there, and they offer a more technological, advanced type of training. You know, where you see on TV where medical facilities, they do surgery without even going in the person's body. They teach that kind of opportunities.
Yeah.
So yeah, and on the side, Jarvis University, it's a HBCU, is also on this property when it faces Westmoreland. and you don't know it's there unless you struggle to find the address. So you have a HBCU in this area. You also have a community college in this mall. You do have Champs and another retail store there. You have a a drive-through Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, yes, Chick-fil-A is right across from Starbucks, and it's always busy. Always.
Yeah, I noticed you have two cell stores. I think one of them was AT&T, and I can't remember if it was
Yes, that's that's there.
T-Mobile. So yeah, there's some stuff, there's some vitality coming in already, and I think getting the signage where you can see it's really going to help get people aware of it. Like you said,
And-
it's not easy to spot when you're on from the freeway, you don't see it at
There's a
all.
lot of different things going on, like Commissioner Boyd pointed out, there's educational opportunities, there's community service opportunities, there's medical opportunities. So there's a lot going on that people need signs to know where to go.
Exactly, and I was tickled about that. I did have a couple of questions, and this is, okay, Commissioner Blair, I'm sorry I have to say this, but English is my second language, so I had a question about one of the paragraphs. And Jason, you may have to pull this up. It was section 51A, 7 dot, and then it's underneath bullet C1, and it's the defense of prosecution. I don't know if it's easier just to find the defense of prosecution. Because it says something about replace a banner overhanging the public right of way using existing hardware, permit required to install sign hardware for a banner. That was what the exception was. It was defense of prosecution. Does that mean that if you swap out the banner, you can use the existing hardware and there's no penalty for that? Is there a fee with swapping that out or something?
No.
That's where I got kind of lost.
So basically, they permit the hardware to be up there, and then they just swap it out whenever they want.
Okay. And so, okay, that was another question. The kiosk. You know, we had, I think the old kiosks were supposed to be the round ones, and they're now looking at, and Commissioner Blair, I don't know if this is past CPC yet or not, because I know the kiosks at the hearing are coming up. But the old ones used to be round, and these are supposed to be sort of flat and rectangular.
Right.
Which ones would be going in here? Because I hate to see us put in something that's obsolete,
So,
or that may become obsolete once this.
so just based on what these provisions lay out, we don't say whether they're round or not. Now, it can't be non-premise advertising. It can
Right.
only be advertised on the premise. I think what's being considered now with the kiosk programs are non-premise advertising, so anybody can advertise. The only people that can advertise on these are people that have stores
In that-
or
It's sort of
activities
premise.
that go on in this area. So if you look at the kiosk definition, it just says it's a multi-sided structure or cylindrical structure for display of premise signs. It doesn't mean vending or sales carts.
Okay,
So it's just a sign structure. The entire structure itself can be 100 square feet. And then the actual display area is limited to 20 square feet. So it's specific in what they're looking for. I think they've got some renderings that we showed last month on kind of what they're looking at. And the provisions are written in such a way that they can only display 20 square feet of advertising, basically.
oh, okay. Then I had another question about where you're placing the kiosk. I read that it's 50 feet apart, which is a good thing. And then the sidewalk, because some of it's probably in the development stuff, language. But the sidewalk, how wide are the sidewalks? Because I wanted to be sure the kiosks did not obstruct pedestrian usage of those sidewalks. If they're, for example, taking a bus and getting off the bus
Sure.
and walking.
From a development standpoint, there always has to be at least 4 feet of sidewalk. That's ADA,
Okay.
that's no matter what.
Well, we
So-
don't have the PD here and
True.
all the details, so I was just.
And I don't know what
sure
the-
We're not creating.
This is just general zoning, so I mean,
Right,
it's,
be free, so default to all that.
yeah, so I
Yeah,
think.
I've seen
that-
some research where- Yeah,
6 feet around the perimeter on inside their.
okay, yeah. Okay, and then I had a question on expenses.
Sidewalk clearing, violate ADA and also violate Texas.
Yeah. Well, I know there's one kiosk in my neighborhood, and if I'm leaving a Chase Bank, I don't have the visibility triangle that's supposed to be there. That was evidently just an oversight or something when it was inspected, so I just wanted to be sure. I'm kind of paranoid about
Right,
it.
we'd have to comply with all site visibility triangles.
And that's another thing, like these are all on private property, so they would all be individually inspected by the sign department. Whereas the kiosk program, a lot of that's in public right of way, so that falls on Public Works and some other departments. This would all be coordinated through this one body.
Okay.
Or this.
Because I was hoping that some of the streamlining that the city hall is trying to do is going to eliminate some of that crossover confusion. Okay. 51A-7, paragraph E3 on, I think it's page 12, Jason. There's a negative in here that, again, this is probably because English is my second language, but it talks about may not project less than 2 feet from the back of the curb. Could somebody translate that to simple layman's English?
Sure, and I'm not sure this is really going to apply in this area, but that's taken from the downtown special provision sign
It's
district.
standard verbiage that's been talked
Where
about, Jason, but it's still confusing.
Basically, they can project off the building so far,
Mhm.
but when you draw an imaginary line up from the curb, they can't be within 2 feet of the edge of that imaginary
Oh,
line with the curb.
that's- Why don't they say it that way?
That would be too easy. That would be really too easy and too,
Too
straightforward,
Commissioner.
yeah.
The lawyers at work, they don't want that.
I think the lawyers write things so that no one understands it but them, so they can, that's called,
Job insurance, huh?
Yeah, job security.
Okay, then I had a question about window signs, 51A-7, and I think it was subparagraph G. It says that you can put up to 10% of effective area, maybe words. What is the total percent of coverage? And that's coming from police department complaints to me about signs in windows that obscure their ability to go in and see if, let's say, a burglar goes in. So I just want to know,
So,
somebody clarify what's going on there to be sure that police would still have visibility if they were trying to respond to a report of a burglary or something.
so this still falls back to business zoning provisions, which says that, the window signs have to be in the bottom 1/3, and they can only cover up to 25% of the window.
Okay, that's what I was trying to remember from
And
here.
this just has another allowance that they allow sponsors for cultural events and other things taking place in the area. And you can have up to 10% of that area that's allowed also for these.
Okay,
Part of the 20% or an additional 10%.
No, it's part of the 25%.
Okay.
and it
The
is.
10% are reserved for everywhere, not just that one store.
Another question about kiosks. Are those kiosks going to be backlit or how are they going to be so they're visible at night?
So the ordinance doesn't specify, and it's up to the sign maker, how they want to do that. They could be LED, they could be like the LED screens, they could be uplit, they could be backlit, they could be
But there is some sort of
External
illumination so they're
Or they-
visible at night.
they could be
and
non-lit
easily
as
read.
well. There's nothing that says they have to be illuminated or how they're illuminated.
They're likely to be, because they're likely to be illuminated, because this is, the activities here go on after dark.
Yeah, well, yeah, and especially if you have other services in there. Then movement signs, max height of 8 feet and max effective area of 15 square feet. How is that calculated? Because it just, without, I'm a visual person, so I couldn't imagine what I guess you call them movement signs or directional finding signs are.
So
So do we have an example of one of them that we can, so that this visually impaired person can see what it looks like? And Rob, anytime you want to jump in here, please feel free to do so. This is just,
let me see if I can pull up that previous
Wait a
presentation.
minute. Can I jump in on this right now when it says
Sure.
that it can be on the sidewalk? Can you go back to that? Wait a minute. Kiosk may be located, number D, kiosk may be located on sidewalks if unobstructed sidewalk, width is 8 feet are maintained. I do not believe on Camp Wisdom or Westmoreland, there is 8 feet of sidewalk anywhere.
Is it 6 feet, Rob? I remember they didn't look that huge when it
Right.
was out there.
They may only be between 4 and 5 feet.
Oh, okay.
So.
So if that is true, then it should say, then this should be changed to say kiosks may not be located on sidewalks, because you're not going to be able to maintain the width of 8 feet. Or, well, you can leave it there, but it's not going to be something that's obtainable, not unless they redevelop, then redesign all of the sidewalks on at Redbird. And I don't believe anyone is going to want to do that much concrete there, and because it won't be consistent with the rest of the sidewalks when you pass the mall going either east or west.
Good point, and I missed that, Commissioner Blair. Thank you.
Keep going.
Rob, did you know? Or do you have to? I think I.
He pulled it right there.
Okay, good. Because I had this from the last meeting and I didn't think it specified where the sidewalks in here.
So this whole special provision for kiosks, when you look at number D, none of it's going to be obtainable unless they redeveloped all of the sidewalks around the mall.
Yeah.
So,
Inside of the mall, inside of inside of PD, this PD, you may be able to obtain that, but I don't even think inside they have 8 feet sidewalks. So I don't know what to do with this, but it means it is is this really obsolete, if it's really necessary, if you cannot get 8 feet with the sidewalk.
okay. So Commissioner Blair, are you suggesting that the kiosks need to be located away from the sidewalk? Would that be your solution? Because I know we need
Yes.
to change the verbiage before this goes.
It's going to be, we'll work out the language with the team here, but
Okay,
the intent is to have the kiosks internal and not on the public road.
okay.
So then if you say that the kiosk must be internal or something to that effect, it won't and that it may not obstruct the view or something from the sidewalk. I don't know what the wording, but I do appreciate the intent.
Yeah, we'll make that change, Commissioner Blair.
And
I know you will, Rob. We work well together, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Just from a staff perspective,
Mhm.
the way this is written is if they were wanting to locate them on a sidewalk, they would have to have 8 feet maintained around it. Otherwise, they can be located wherever. If they were located on a sidewalk, it's a clarifying, if it were on a sidewalk, this is the way it would need to be located. But I don't think it prevents them from not locating them on a sidewalk.
Okay,
As long as the sidewalk width is at least 8 feet.
Correct.
okay.
So, okay, so then if that is what if that is how staff will interpret this, I'm looking at the interpretation, not today, but 5 or 10 years from now when none of us are here to interpret it for someone.
Yeah. So I
And,
think
and
what you're
Bob
suggesting
is-
is that we clarify the language, and Rob can probably do that for us, because unlike you, he's easy to work with on stuff like this, and we can, if this is approved today, we can have that as one of the conditions for approval as it moves on to CPC.
Yeah.
Just that the language be clarified to be certain that we have, if kiosks are located, that there's at least the required clearance.
That's what we'll do.
Okay.
And
thank you.
Cookie, we don't have the exact movement control signs in this package, but they're gonna look similar to this. So, you know, it'll say a name where it says exit only or do not enter. They'll say, you know, right turn or, you know, control traffic. So all the signs will be the same type and the same materials, and they'll be uniform in appearance.
Okay, because one question I had, and I can't remember, you had examples, I think, last time, of if you were advertising for a certain tenant And so those were not on the wayfinding signs, right?
Yeah.
But you did have some like monument signs or something, if I remember correctly. Okay.
Yeah,
So on the movement control signs, movement control signs, B1 says they must not exceed 30 square feet in an effective area. But then on B3, it says may have a maximum height of 8 feet and a maximum effective area of 15 square feet. Do those
that would be me.
contradict each other?
Yeah, I'll fix that.
So it'd be the 15 square feet.
Yeah, movement control signs don't need to be 30 square feet.
Okay, I was going back through the rest of my notes.
Yeah, so it'd be 15.
Okay, so we should get straight.
I got it.
B, straight B1.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say three square feet for a movement control sign is tiny. It's gonna be hard to read.
and at my age, I wouldn't be able to see them anyway. Not 3 square feet. Good catch.
Okay, I'm going back through my detailed notes to be sure we haven't missed anything that's going to cause problems if this does move forward to CPC, so.
Well, you can rest assured that if it goes to CPC, Commissioner Blair will go through this with a fine tooth comb.
Well, and I'm sure she will defend what we pass here, because that's why we want to have this
Yeah.
and iron out as much as we can.
Oh,
so-
absolutely, because we're doing the hard work now.
Yeah. Street frontage.
So 1 and 3 on number B, 1 and 3 will be clarified so they're not in conflict, right?
Yeah, we're gonna remove, movement control, we're gonna remove number 1 and keep number 4. And so everything will be renumbered.
There is no number 4, is there?
Number
You
three.
mean number 3?
Number 3.
Is that
Yeah,
what
there
we-
is no 4 and number 3, because there is no
Yeah.
4. If there's
That's
4,
red. Still, that's, yeah. So we're gonna keep it's gonna, that's number 3 because I removed number 2 and that's, yeah.
Okay.
We're on the same page.
He's already got a red line copy, Miss Commissioner Blair. so
okay.
He's working it already. Okay, I didn't have any more questions other than just to say, I think this is a great way to resuscitate an aging.
Well, you guys have been a real pleasure to work with. Thank you very much.
Nobody ever says that about us. We're usually, well, especially me, I'm the bulldog that's usually the one that objects.
Thank you, what, you never bring up frivolous things.
Well,
Yeah.
I hope not. I
Yeah.
did have one request, and I can't remember which one of it may be the AdSac one, but somebody needs to spell check before this goes to CPC. I would run spell check on each one of these documents, because there were some things that I saw that were typos.
Okay.
In one of the documents, I don't remember if it was this one or if it was
It
AdSac.
could be that, I'll run spell check, but, the red line, sometimes you do red line.
I know.
So.
Yeah.
I'll do a spell check before it goes to CPC.
Well, and I think it was probably the AdSac one, but I can't remember for sure, so just to be safe, so that it doesn't look like we passed something that
It was,
is unfinished before it gets there.
right.
Anything to do with approving, special sign district. I did notice on some of your directional signs, particular directional signs, the copy seems a little small.
Okay.
So you may want to just kind of take a look at that as, when it gets to that point.
Yeah.
2 inches is really what you want to be shooting for.
Okay.
And it looked like some of those were like an inch and a half.
Okay.
Do you
We'll make
have
sure.
verbiage? I'm sorry, I didn't follow you.
When you're, putting text on movement control signs, vehicular signs, you really want the text to be at least 2 inches.
Oh,
If you can, it looked like some of those were smaller than that.
oh, okay, I didn't even see, well, thank you, this is somebody who knows what he's doing with graphics and stuff, so that's good feedback. Excellent catch. Okay, do we have any other discussion? Commissioner Blair, did you have any other comments?
Oh, no, I can't wait for this to happen.
Okay, Rob, did you have anything else? No. Was there anybody else online? I think Mr. Brodsky joined us last time, but I didn't see him up here, so
No,
no commentary. Okay, then do we have a motion?
I will
I
motion to
move.
look.
Can I
Okay,
get-
Commissioner Claire has a motion to approve. Todd, would you second this? Okay,
I'll second.
then we'll do our roll call vote again. Commissioner Blair, your vote, please, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. 4.
Aye, okay, Todd,
4.
and chair votes for.
Thank you all
Thank
very
you
much.
so much. This, I think it's gonna be such a
It's gonna be
great
great.
thing for the community, and boy, they need some stuff down there. I mean, this was like almost a desert when I drove down. I spent 2 hours driving around there in the area, just looking and seeing what all was there. And I guess since Redbird Mall kind of went downhill a long time ago, this is just such a great addition. I was tickled to see UT Southwestern's facility and all the other things that y'all have already accomplished. So kudos to everybody who's been working on this.
Thank you. So, Commissioner Blair, I look forward to working with you on this as we get to CPC.
Oh, and I thank you guys for including me on this. This is absolutely what this mall is in need of.
Oh,
It
yeah.
will, yes, yes. The goal here is to rebuild it, reutilize the land that is there, and to make sure that gentrification process does not happen again.
I think it's just this.
Yeah, because if, as long as because as long as you do medical and there's a and there's a hospital, well, not even a mile south of here, this grows the medical facility and gives everybody in the southern area, whether you are in the city of Dallas or the suburbs, opportunities to receive medical services without going all the way to downtown to get them.
I know.
And they're not substandard services that is being offered here.
Yes.
No,
sure.
and has nothing to do with this, but my church is the one that started Crossroads Community Services. And they've now spun off as a 501c3, and they're down in that area. They took over the old North Texas Food Bank facility. They are constantly referring people over to that medical facility because it's such an asset to the community. I mean, other than that, you have to go all the way to Methodist, don't you,
Yeah.
Commissioner Blair?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's Charlton Methodist, which is just south of there.
Uh-huh.
But there's, if you want to go to Methodist, it's north, it's just south of 30. So it is easy access for not only District 8, District 3 is when you're on Westmoreland, District 3 is just west of there, and when you're on Cap Wisdom, District 3 is also starting on the opposite side of each one of those streets. So the opportunity to grow and to change the vision and the view is seated in the abilities for for the Redbird area, and what Mr. Brodsky has been doing with this mall. It will help generate new opportunities for the southern sector of Dallas. It's an economic development champion.
Yes, it
And
is.
it's something that is much needed for the city.
Agreed. And I just hope you plant lots of trees around there so that they get that ecological boost too.
We need a place for the birds.
Well, I am going to make a
Birds.
recommendation for the where they're going to do the outdoor venues. If you're in the summertime, it's just extremely hot. So I am going to make the recommendations around the borders, at least some trees are planted so that it won't be a heat source. Instead, it'll be some shade, and so that it can be better supported.
Yeah, there is a lot of concrete parking area there, and I think that'd be a wonderful plus. As a master gardener, I just love putting the trees in.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, we had the minutes to go over. Did anybody have any corrections or additions to the minutes?
It's good.
In that case, the minutes stand approved as stated. And I think that concludes our business. Oscar, do you have anything else? Jason?
No.
Okay, in that case, the meeting stands adjourned at 10:54. Thank you,
I
everybody.
thank you guys for letting me see how it works on the inside. I only see it when it gets to CPC. And I appreciate the work that you guys are doing here. It is valuable. And it gives the opportunity for the city to look different and for growth opportunities that we don't even know we need.
Right.
So thank you for letting me join in on your fun.
Well, thank you, because without you, we would not have had a quorum, so thank you very much.
All right, you guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care.
Okay, and Oscar, do you have a form for that? This is the first one that we approved, which was the
The CA, that's for,